Hello everyone and welcome to my first day of my first reading vlog. I'm talking a little bit quieter because it's almost midnight, but I am about to do a 24-hour first day of August readathon. So I am participating in G from Book Roast's last NEWTS, which I'm really sad about. I totally understand why she's doing it, don't get me wrong, but I am really sad about it. So I'm going to first go over my TBR for the readathon, and then maybe a little bit later, like maybe during the day, I might go over my reading plans for the week. But I just got my NEWTS prompts pulled up on my phone, and let's go over what I'm deciding to read. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to read is for an A in Transfiguration, which is read a book with an animal on the cover or in the title, and I'm going with The Stolen Songbird by Daniel Jensen. I'm super excited. I've heard great things. I think it's like a Goblin King retelling. I'll definitely have to tell you more about it when I know more about it, but I'm super excited about that. The next one is for an A in Divination, which is to read a book with a red cover. I have an Arc of Fable by Adrienne Young. I honestly have almost no idea what it's about. I'll tell you more about it when I read it, but I'm super excited for that. I loved Sky in the Deep. I have not read The Girl the Sea Gave Back, but I really want to read it as well. And then for the last one, I do plan on hopefully reading more, but I'm going to set a more realistic goal to start off with, and then I'll go from there once I read them all. But for the last one, for an A in Muggle Studies, I'm going to read a comic, which is Lumberjanes Volume 12. Lumberjanes is just a series about these girls who are in a summer camp, and like a lot of supernatural things happen. I loved it. I started it in like June or July, and I've already read 11 of them, and they're just so good, and I super recommend them. But I've got some coffees ready for like when I need them. I've got my phone for both, or for The Stolen Songbird, and then I've got my Kindle for Fable, and I'm just super excited. I'll let you know more once I start reading. Alright, it just hit 103, and I am 101 pages into Stolen Songbird, and so I can give you a little bit more about what it's about. So it's about this girl, she's a girl, she's like 17, and she is going to become an opera star, and she's kidnapped on the day before she's about to leave, and she's taken to these trolls, and it turns out there's a curse, and she's like, they think she might be the only person who can break it, so she's married off to the next in line for the throne. And there's definitely some politics going on. I think there's a couple of rebellions in the works, and she's kind of starting to be pulled in a bunch of different directions. That's all I've got so far. The songbird, I think, comes into play with her singing. I don't think there's actually any bird, but I didn't think there would be anyways. And it's okay. I don't really understand why people were keeping some things from her that I think were kind of like why didn't you just tell her like why you were marrying her, or like what her purpose was? Like they just kind of didn't tell her anything and just kept pushing her around, and we're like, okay, now you're getting married, now you're doing this, and they weren't explaining anything. And then finally the guy was like, oh, that's right, you don't know anything. And it's kind of like, just, I didn't understand why they were keeping stuff from her, and I still am kind of feeling that way for some of the things. And then her reaction to everything didn't make sense either. She was super relaxed about everything. She didn't scream. She didn't really fight it until like really weird random moments that didn't make like any sense. And I just wanted more from her. Like, come on, fight it. They kidnapped you. They kidnapped you. And she barely fights it. And she barely says anything. And yeah, she tries to run, but at really stupid, really ridiculous moments that don't make any sense. And I just wish that she fought more and she did more. But I'm only 100 pages in on my computer. It says I have 334 pages. I don't know how many pages my phone says. I'm pretty sure Goodreads says like 350. But I think my next update will probably be when I hit halfway, and I'll let you know how I feel then. Okay, so it just hit. It's about like 2:05, and I am now halfway through the book. It's okay. I'm not loving it. I think right now it's a pretty solid 3 out of 5 stars. I'm not loving the romance. I'm not loving the love interest very much, if at all. I like our main character, but again, like, I don't know, she's just not that she's not just great. She's not rubbing me super the right way. I think she's okay. She's fine. She's pretty smart, but just, I don't know. It's just not really, nothing's really standing out to me. I am starting to go downhill, kind of crashing. I'm going to try and finish the book and then debate on whether or not I want to go to sleep or just try and drink some coffee and keep going. I might just try and sit down and power through the rest of this book, so I might not update you until the end, unless something big happens and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a 5-star, or oh my gosh, I'm going to DNF it. But yeah, I'll chat with you later. Okay, I know I said I was probably not going to update until I finished, but this book is just like, I'm not liking it. It's just, the characters are just, I feel like, acting really unreasonable. They're all getting angry at the main character for like doing what any reasonable person would who was kidnapped. I'm not going to say anything else because of spoilers, but like the worst thing that could have happened, like happened, and I just didn't care. I was like, I just didn't care. I really just didn't care one way or another what happened to any of the characters. And then other characters' responses to it was just like, didn't make any sense to me. It's like, well, she was kidnapped, so like, of course she's gonna do this. And they just, they're mean to her, and it's like, you guys were her only friends. And I know obviously you're gonna be more loyal to this other person, but like, you can still see where she's coming from. And I think it's just it's just none of this. I'm just not connecting to any of the characters. I'm not connecting to the plot. I really just don't care what happens. I only have 100 pages left, and like, I don't know what else I do for the NEWTS. And I'm trying to complete all of the challenges. Literally, I'm trying to complete all of the challenges. So I need to finish it, but I just don't want to, because this is not good. I'm just not liking it. I'm so disappointed that I'm not liking it, but I don't like any really part of it. The writing's good. I like the writing, but I don't like the plot, and I don't like the characters. Or it's not that I don't like them, I just don't care. I just don't care about the plot. I just don't care about the characters. And I'm just like, can you give me something to root for? Because I just don't care. But I only have 100 pages left. It's like 2:30 something. And I think I'm going to finish that, try and maybe read Lumberjanes for Muggle Studies, and then go to sleep for a few hours, and then pick up Fable. Yeah, I think that's my plan. But I'll chat with you later. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just so stereotypical, and the arguments are just over and over and over again, and it's just so annoying, and I just can't do it. I just don't care. I don't care about the romance. I don't care about the plot. I don't care about the characters. I just don't care. It's a bummer that the first book that I wanted to read this month is a DNF. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to count it, because I am like, 70 pages from the end, so I read like 260 pages, which I think is enough to count it, but I'm just not sure. I'll debate, and I'll get back to you, but for now, I'm definitely putting it down, and I'm just not going to read it. So I'm going to read Lumberjanes, and then I think I'm going to go to bed, and I'll talk to you either when I finish Lumberjanes, or I'll just talk to you when I wake up, and I'll tell you how I felt about Lumberjanes, which I love. So I'm sure I'll give it at least a 4-star, and I'll talk to you later. It's literally like 2 minutes later. But the next Lumberjanes volume was something about a jackalope. So that's like an animal, even though it's mythical, it's still an animal. And so I might just read that really fast and count that towards the book with an animal in the title. And there's one on the cover too, even though it's not a jackalope. But I think it counts. So I think I'm going to count that instead. And I might still mark Stolen Songbird as read on Goodreads, because I did read so much of it, but not towards the challenge. So I'm going to try and like just bang out those 2 comics and then go to sleep. So I'll try and talk to you maybe before I go to sleep, but it might just be after. Okay, so I'm just doing one more check-in before I turn off the light and get in bed and read until I fall asleep. So I finished Lumberjanes Volume 12. I'm only giving it a 3. I don't know. A 3 out of 5 stars. I don't know. I wanted to love it, but I feel like ever since Noelle Stevenson stopped writing them or drawing them or whatever she did for them, it kind of lost the charm and the morals and like the lessons in it. Now it just feels kind of like just random stories that you don't really get much out of. But I am liking it, of course. I love all the Lumberjanes. And I'm reading volume 13 right now. But I'm just gonna turn off the lights. I've got on my phone, so I'm just gonna read that and then go to sleep. And I'll check back in with you in the morning with my final thoughts on Lumberjanes. And I'm gonna start Fable by Adrienne Young. Good morning, everyone. It is 8. People are still asleep, so I'm still talking quietly. But I just woke up and I'm about to pick up Fable by Adrienne Young, which is for divination, read a book with a red cover, something like that. I finished Lumberjanes Volume 13 last night, and I liked it more than the previous one, but I think it's still going to be like a 3.75, 3.5, 3.75. They're not my favorite right now. But yeah, so I'm going to pick up Fable and I'll chat with you once I kind of know more about what it's about. Okay, so I am 74 pages into Fable. It's about 20%, and I'm really liking it. It's about a girl who was dropped off on this island by her dad many years ago, and she's trying to get back to her dad. She's been like diving for things to like sell to this one tradesman, and then she asks him for passage to a place like away from the island. I don't exactly know where, and he's taking her there, but I think the synopsis and like what you definitely get is that he's got an ulterior motive of some kind. That's about all. I'm just where she has booked passage. She's on the ship and they're headed somewhere that's not where she thought they would be going. So yeah, I'm liking it. I do like the writing. I like the characters, and I'm excited to see where it goes from there. And then I also got one of my coffees. I'm almost done, obviously, but I got it when I first started the book, and it's making me feel a bit more awake. Okay, so I just hit the 51% mark, and I am really, really liking this. It is just past basically where the synopsis ends. Like, I was like, oh, this has happened, and it's 50% of the way through. So I don't have any idea what's going to happen after this. And I'm really liking it. I'm having a really good time. I know Adrienne Young's writing just really works for me. I really like Sky in the Deep. I really want to read The Girl the Sea Gave Back. And I'm just really excited to keep reading this. I think it's really, really fun. I think it's just like a fun pirate adventure story, which I feel like a lot of people have tried to do, and it just for some reason doesn't work for me. But this is working really well, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm not sure if I'll update you before I finish, but I'll definitely update you at least by then. It's 9:30. I'm probably going to finish this around 11. Hi, everyone. Okay, so it's about 10:40, and I just finished Fable. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was super fun, super fast-paced. It's a fun, just easy story. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece or anything, but I like the writing, I like the characters, I like the story. I was a little nervous because like I didn't like Stolen Songbird, and the 2 volumes of Lumberjanes I read weren't my favorite, and so I was a little nervous that I was gonna hit a slump, but I really, really liked it. So I submitted my review to NetGalley, and I just finished reading it. And the next book I'm gonna read is Lady Rogue, which is for something to read, a comedy, or a humorous book, and I will bring it up later because I finished the books that were on my TBR. So The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett, again, I don't know a huge amount about it. I know that it follows like this girl, and my friend read it earlier this year, and I think it was like they were trying to find some sort of lost necklace or something, and it's based in Romania, so I think it was like during the time when like that woman, like queen, like bathed herself in blood or whatever, or that's like during like Dracula. I'm not sure if this is a fantasy or just like historical fun adventure. Again, I will get back to you on that. But for the plans for the rest of the day, my dad and I are gonna go on a hike at some point, and I'll listen to The Rook, which is for, again, can't remember like the category, but it's for to read a mystery or a thriller. It's about this woman who wakes up in this body and she doesn't remember who she is, and she's just following all of these clues from the woman whose body she's inhabiting, about because she's like, someone is trying to kill me, and so someone is now trying to kill you, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And so I'm gonna listen to that, and then we might go to a pool, and depending on what book, I might still be reading The Lady Rogue, I might be picking up a new book, but I will bring it with me and I will chat with you. I don't know if I'll be vlogging while I'm there, so I will try and update you before we leave, and then I might not update you for quite a few hours, but I will talk to you later. Hi everyone. Okay, it's just over an hour later, maybe even a little bit less, and I am 120 pages into The Lady Rogue. And now I can give you a bit more of what it's about. So this is about a girl who goes with her dad to Turkey to find Vlad Dracula's ring, and her dad kind of leaves her at this hotel and goes off and does it himself. But then this guy who used to be kind of her like foster brother turned kind of lover comes and tells her that her dad's missing, and now they've got kind of a bad relationship because they like kissed and then he disappeared for a year and didn't answer any of her letters, didn't talk to her, didn't do anything. And so now they have to team up to find her dad and this ring, and I'm just into where they're getting to Romania, to where her dad kind of left a letter to say meet me there. And so I'm really excited. I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't really call it funny. Like, I know this is for the prompt to read a funny book, which is Charms, acceptable grade or whatever. And I haven't laughed out loud yet, but it takes a lot for me to laugh out loud. I don't really do that a lot in books. That and crying, I'm just like, they don't happen a whole lot for me in books, but I am really excited to continue. Okay, hi everyone. I think I need to explain things a little bit better than I have been doing. So I finished the 3 books that were on my TBR for the 24-hour readathon. So now I'm just kind of picking up books that were on my weekly TBR, which I'll go into more detail after this readathon. And so now I'm picking up Charms, which is The Lady Rogue, the first for like acceptable, which is to read a funny book. Now I'm not finding it like laugh out loud funny, but it's definitely more comedic than like dramatic. And so I'm counting it. There might be parts eventually where I start actually laughing. I know my best friend like actually laughed in it, so I'm hoping I will get there. But right now it's just definitely more lighthearted. So I'm still counting it. And then the next book that I want to read, if I finish this one, which I should, because we're going on a hike where I'm going to listen to the first book for Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is to read a horror or a mystery, or horror or a thriller. And I'm going with The Rook, which I kind of explained earlier. And it's definitely a mystery where you're trying to figure out who tried to kill her. And I think there's definitely going to be thriller aspects with like people trying to kill her and her trying to like figure out what's going on. And then I'm going to start The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, which is for A in Potions, which is sky in the title or on the cover. Now, it's not in the title, but it is on the cover. There is the sky. And I thought there was more of the sky because it took me forever to realize that like where it says The City We Became is a bridge. I thought it was like a shining like, I don't know, beam out of into the sky, but it's a bridge. But there's definitely sky in it. So I'm counting it, and that's fine. It's a library book that I have. It's in my car, so I don't have it yet right with me. But yeah, so once I finish The Lady Rogue, I'm going to read that, which hopefully will happen when I'm at the pool after our hike. But if it doesn't, then it'll happen when I get home. And I'll talk to you all later. Hi everyone. So I am home and I've got a couple updates. So I went on a hike, and sorry, my cat is in the background, but I went on a hike and I listened to the first 4 hours and 20 minutes of The Rook by Daniel O'Malley. I'm really intrigued. I'm really interested on where this is going. I'm interested on the plot. I really like Miffany, the main character. I'm really happy that I'm listening to the audiobook because none of these names I would have ever been able to pronounce, like any of them ever. and it was super good. I'm really intrigued on where the story's going, and like I said, it's about a woman who wakes up in the body of someone and she doesn't remember anything. It's like she's basically like a brand new like entity, and she has all these letters from the original Miffy telling her what's happening, and someone or some organization is trying to kill her, and so she is now trying to figure out who tried to kill Miffy and now why she's in danger. Really good, really interested. I'm super pumped. And then I finished Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett, and I really enjoyed it. I still don't think it was really a funny book, so maybe a problem on my part. Maybe I'll just sneak in another like Lumberjanes and call it good, and this was just an extra book or something. But I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really interesting plot. I really liked the characters. The end, like the last like 50 pages weren't my favorite. I thought that it all kind of happened a little too fast and wrapped up a little too quickly, but something kind of like, it kind of takes a turn, and I wasn't the hugest fan. But so I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 stars. With the ending, if it had been better, I think would have been more like a 4.25, 4.5 out of 5 stars, but where it stands right now, I liked the writing, I liked the plot, I liked the characters, but the ending just kind of missed the mark for me. So 4 out of 5 on that one. And then I have changed the book that I'm going to read next, because this, The City We Became, was going to be if I was still at the pool or outside, and it's 5 p.m. now, so it's going to start to get a little dark, or I mean, not for like 3 hours, but I'm going to start an arc that I have instead on my Kindle, and that's for herbology, and it's like read a book with a flower on the cover. I'm going to read an arc that I just got, and it comes out in like March of 2021, but the archive date is August 3rd. I got it yesterday. So I'm like, okay, I better read that now. And so it's called Girl of Hawthorne and Glass. It's about this girl who was like created by these witches to like be their assassin, but then she's sent to kill someone, and she learns something about her coven or the witches that is not great. That's literally all I know. Oh, and she teams up with humans to do something. I'll definitely check in again. We're going out to dinner. We're gonna get Thai food, so I don't know. I'm going to try and read as much of that as I can now, and then I'll update you before we leave, and then I'll probably update you later, and hopefully I can get another book done. It's only like 320 pages, so it should totally be fine. I should definitely be able to finish it, and then maybe at least pick up another one. I don't know if I'll be able to finish another one. We'll see. The perfect combination. This is my 4th coffee of the day. I usually drink like 1, maybe 2, and that's about it. But, you know, with going to sleep really late and getting up really early, not sponsored, I need another coffee. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm 25% into Girl of Hawthorne and Glass. It's okay. I think it's going a little fast. Like already, I know it's 25%, but I'm pretty sure it's shorter than 320 pages, which is what Goodreads is telling me, because Kindles give me like not actual pages, they give me something else. And so I don't know how many pages it is, but I'm 25% the way through, and I already have less than 2 hours to go. So I think it's a really short book, but with that, it's just, stuff is just happening just a little too fast. I think it's just like, stuff is just, I think she's already met like the love interest, and I think she's already starting to like question everything, but it's, I don't know, I just feel like something's missing. And maybe it's because we weren't getting an introduction to the witch world before stuff was already going wrong. So maybe I'm just like, you know, we didn't know anything about this world. How do we know that this wasn't the way that it usually operated or stuff happened? And I just wanted a little bit more world building before the problem kind of came up or rose or like became apparent. And so I just feel like it's kind of happening a little unnaturally, but we'll see. I will chat with you when I've got more to say. Hi guys! It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah. So since we last talked, I had a 20-minute nap because I was just really tired. We went to dinner and we played some cards. I crushed my dad at cards. And then I just finished Girl of Hawthorne and Glass, and it's 10 p.m. It was not great. Not great. I was like fine with it in the beginning. I was kind of like, I just didn't really like care a whole lot about like the characters and the plot, and then it just kind of got worse and worse as the book progressed, and then there was absolutely no world building. So like all this stuff, they kept like referencing all these things and all the different powers and stuff that like witches had to go through, but like it was never really explained. Like they just referenced it. It was like, tell me what happened in the void or something, and it was like, well, what's the void? And like nothing was explained at all. And then like there was like a plot twist that did not make like any sense, and I just didn't like it. So it's gonna be a 2 out of 5 stars, I think, because nothing about it was really that great. It was very average, and then in some parts it was worse than average. So but for the rest of the day, I do not have anything else that I'm going to be able to finish, but I am going to start The Midnight Bargain, which is another arc that I have, and I'm pulling up the prompts to remind myself what it's for. I know it's for like a historical. Read a book that's historical, and maybe for history of magic. Makes sense, right? Yes, historical fiction, The Midnight Bargain. So this is about also witches, and it's like women either have to choose to be witches or to get married. And if they get married, either their husbands get their magic or they get power of their magic, or the women just have to give up magic. And we follow our main character who's like wants to be married and wants to have kids, but she also really wants her magic. And then I think there's like a hate to love, enemies to lovers trope romance in there. So we'll see. I'm going to start it, read hopefully around, as much as I can tonight. And I'll talk to you later and then finish it tomorrow. All right, everyone, it's 11:58. I'm definitely calling it a night. I was able to read 120 pages of The Midnight Bargain, so I'm definitely able to give you a bit more of what it's about. So it's about this woman, I'm not sure how old she is, maybe like 18, 16 through 18, one of those 8 years. And it's in a world where women can have magic, but as soon as they get married, they have to have these warding collars on that totally blocks their magic until they're no longer able to have children. Because the children, if you still have magic when you're pregnant, like souls, like unembodied souls are able to like take over your baby, and then they go like crazy once they're able to like walk and talk, and they like kill everything in sight. And our main character is like, she really wants to progress in her magic, but then she also wants to have a family, and her family is almost destitute. So she needs to marry, or else they're gonna not have money. And so she's really debating on what to do. And then one night at a ball, she meets the like next in line for this really super rich family, and they're not enemies. For some reason I thought they were enemies. And she wants his sister for something, and his sister wants her help for something. So they start working together, and she starts getting closer to the guy. And I like it. I like the plot. I like the characters. I love the writing. The writing's really good. But I'm just sick of the plot of the women just not having any autonomy over themselves and not being able to do anything. And, they always have to listen to the man, and the man does everything. They're able to do whatever they want, but women just aren't. And I'm just like getting really sick of it. And I know this is very obvious in this book because of the synopsis, and I knew it going in, but I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of these sort of plots because it makes me angry and sad and annoyed. And, I read to escape, not to get a front row seat into the problems that our world is facing today. And I'm just like really sick of it. Like, if you're writing fantasy and you can change whatever you want and you can have your own rules, then why are you, especially for like female authors, it's like, why are you making it so much harder for women? Like, why can't men be the ones who have these warning collars and all this crap, and it's just like, it just gets me angry. But I do like the characters. I do like the couple is like cute. I can get behind it. And the writing's super good. So I'm definitely gonna continue reading it. It's very good. It just, the plot kind of gets me angry. But yeah, so that is it for this 24-hour readathon. I finished 5 books. I DNF'd 1 book, but I'm counting it towards my like monthly wrap up because I read 70% of it, which was like over 200 pages. So, and then I got 120 pages into another one, which I'm going to continue, and I will chat with you tomorrow, but I'm going to try and continue this one and also start The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Okay, bye.